So it's almost like you want to say it's embarrassing, but more so scary, maybe heartbreaking, maybe definitely emotional. The sheriff comes knocking on the door, the landlord's banging on the door. The thing is, though, it's not like you didn't know. It's not a surprise. You knew what was happening. You knew what was bound to happen. Yet, you're not prepared for it. And so many folks, people, are finding themselves in these situations where money is tight, bills are piling up, credit cards are maxed out, savings accounts are depleted, sitting on zero, some sitting in the red, some NSF, non-sufficient funds charges. You miss one paycheck, you have one financial hiccup, one emergency, and it can literally put your family in a position of being thrown out on the streets, because now you can't even afford to pay for bills and basic necessities, but one of the most critical, being shelter and keeping a roof over your head, has now been taken away from you as you are forced to evacuate. All your worldly possessions have been thrown out on the curb. You don't have enough money to pay rent, let alone hire a moving crew. And even if you did, you don't have anywhere to go and anywhere to put your belongings. Ultimately leaving you in this situation of anguish, anxiety, overwhelming stress. Why? Because the economy sucks. The job market sucks. The housing market is on a decline. Stock market, it's underperforming. Cryptocurrency is nobody's friend. And all along, we've been ignoring the warning signs and not necessarily doing the things that we probably should have been doing all along, which is the five basic principles of building wealth and putting yourself and your family in a position to survive these tough economic times and avoid total economic collapse and seeing your family wiped out as your life is almost just shut down. Your kids right before Christmas don't have a home, let alone gifts or presents to open and unwrap under the tree the morning of December 25th. And why? We didn't do what we were supposed to do by earning more income. We spent more than we made. We didn't have strong, solid budgets tracking every dollar. We were buried in high interest revolving consumer credit card debt, and we were in no way possible in any financial mean to save money and build investments that ultimately allow for wealth. Wealth is typically not earned. If you are unable to make money while you sleep, well, folks, you're going to work until you die. And the sad part about it is you may not have a home to go home to or a place to call home, because the shit that was actually hitting the fan wasn't a food shortage. It wasn't an EMP strike. It wasn't an invasion. It wasn't a cyber attack. It wasn't a drought. It wasn't a hurricane. It wasn't high gas prices, high diesel prices. What it was poor financial decisions, because it can't even be so much as a lack of education, because the education is out there. Yet, we still have the, folks out there who want to go and spend a ton of money on Starbucks coffee when they know they can't afford it. They want to go buy Louis Vuitton bags and red bottom shoes and post these pictures on Instagram and Facebook for clout, showing off in front of their friends, trying to rack up massive amounts of credit card debt, travel and buy all these Christmas presents for people they don't even like. And they're missing their rent payments. They're upside down in their mortgage. Their car is about to be repossessed. Maybe if they're lucky, they'll be able to maintain a vehicle to live in and live out of, which is a very, very difficult situation to manage, let alone with, you know, a family or kids, you know, perhaps maybe even a single mother out there trying to get by with kids living in a car and maintain employment, whereas that employment probably is, you know, on the verge of being included in the list of companies that are planning on laying off and wiping out jobs of tens of thousands of employees as we roll into 2023, with business owners already warning me of the actions that they are planning to take that their employees don't know yet, but some may perhaps maybe have the feeling or indication that something just isn't right, but odds are they're not actually doing anything to prepare themselves and protect themselves and insulate themselves from what once was just the challenges of inflation, but now we're going to be growing into the challenges of a recession. A deep, long recession that the Fed, Jerome Powell, has already instructed and warned us all is going to take away millions of jobs, increase the unemployment rate by multiple percentage points, shrink the economy, soften the economy, shrink balance sheets, cause pain for businesses and families. And what are we doing? We're ignoring it. We're spending money like it grows on trees. We're not trying to find ways to increase our income. We're not trying to find ways to spend less than we make. We're not trying to find ways to budget better. We're not trying to find ways to get out of debt. Stop wasting money on high interest credit card payments and revolving store accounts at Macy's and Old Navy and Forever 21 or wherever you're shopping at. You know, Lululemon. Man, it's crazy, folks. Nike. It's like, what's going on? What are you thinking about? You know, Kevin, get emails all the time. Kevin, can you help me, please? I'm about to get thrown out. I don't have enough money. I'm behind on my rent. I already got eviction notice letters pinned to my door. You know, my landlord's hounding me. I'm trying to duck and dive. I'm trying to avoid them. Can you help me, please? How do I make money now? How do I get passive income? How do I invest? I can tell you how. I can show you how, but do you have enough time? These are things we should have been doing long ago. The problem is here. The problem is here. You know, the problem is knocking on your door, banging down the door for some, and you know, it's easier to do. Folks, do what is hard when it is easy. It's much easier to find ways to increase your income, add to your earning ability, increase your income and diverse income streams as you work towards acquiring cash flow producing assets and building passive income streams. It's easier to spend less than you make. It's easier to budget. It's easier to get to pay off and eliminate and consolidate and get out of debt when you have a home, when you have a place to reside and rest your head safely and at night. It's harder to do when you're already faced with the increased challenges of being homeless after an eviction, after landlords are looking for tenants to evict and not only rid themselves of their non-payment, but replace them with paying tenants at a higher monthly rent, higher lease price. It is in their best interest to do that so that they can then be more profitable. They can increase their earning potential, increase their income, increase their passive and diverse income streams. And don't get me started on, folks, there's a huge influx of immigrants ready, willing, and able to take these rentals in these cities that they're working in. And these landlords, they want to give it to them.